Okay, we have a postal truck here that has kind of a peculiar problem. I'm just going to use it to illustrate the simple way to find a problem that could sometimes be pretty complex and confusing. Okay, I want to show you just a real quick explanation on how to track down an electrical problem. It's kind of bizarre the way it presents itself, but it's got a basic problem. This vehicle, a postal truck, came in and the dash light gauges are kind of going haywire. Come in here and look, you can see when we got the blinker on, I turn the blinker off and the gauges look alright. But if I turn the blinker on, or if I turn the hazards on, it even gets worse. You turn the dimmer switch on and it goes away. Something's all messed up in here. So I'm thinking, what's the problem? Maybe it's the flashers. The flashers on these vehicles are down here, so I reach down to pull the emergency brake to get it out of my way. When I do that, I notice that my gauges are now corrected. My fuel has come up. This is normal for the alternator gauge when you get your flasher and everything on. But then when I turn the e-brake off, my fuel goes down to zero, my gauges go nuts again. So whatever is going on up here has something to do with the parking brake. So I'm wondering what's going on between our e-brake handle and these gauges that you can see up here. And here's the parking brake switch. So I probe back here with a test light. I've got power on the one side. Go to the other side. I should have ground, but as you can see the test light, it's just barely lighting up. So I've got a bad ground. So I'm thinking, well, let me supply ground right there. Using my power probe where I can put ground on this tip. I'm going to go into the same place. If you can look at the gauges, you can see I'm out fluctuating between 2 and 4 volts. But if I supply ground right there, and then you look at my gauges, my problem is gone. Gas gauges come up and these have settled down. Take the ground away, my gauges are acting up. So my problem is no ground on this circuit. I want to basically use the basics of an electrical diagram to show you how to bypass everything and go right to the problem. If we look at the diagram here, ground distribution, got my headlight switch, illumination control, parking brake switch, turn signal, cigarette lighter. All of these items come down here and share one splice that goes through one connector that goes to a ground. It's ground number G102. Since I've got a problem with all of these and a common ground, my problem is probably here. Turn back, G102 in the book. It says go to diagram 8.14.7.4. 8.14.7, figure 4, ground 102. Points to ground that's back behind the power steering pump. So let's go check it out. Ground 102 is located behind the power steering pump, so let's take a look and see what's back here. You come back here and look, and I've used my light. I look back here, it just so happens that 2 ground connectors are not connected. Just so that you know the history, this engine was put in just a short while ago and evidently these got overlooked and didn't get reattached. Now that provides the ground for all of those symptoms. If we ground this, we should be able to see if our problem goes away. So I'm going to use the power probe and be able to supply ground right here to these ground connections, and then we'll go look at our gauges. Okay, you can see our gauges acting up. Go ahead and supply the ground. Out under the hood they're going to connect the ground, and you can see the gas gauges coming up and these are settling down. Again, this is normal for the alternator, but the other ones have settled down. So our ground is our problem.
Never give up, never surrender.